Hi, this is Bill, the photo brother.
And this is Dan, the video brother, and this is Stacktalk with the Railbrothers, the podcast where we talk about big trains, small trains, old trains, new trains, and everything in between. And today we have sort of a Railfan update. We're looking back at, I guess, kind of the year to date and all the recent events that's happened, and we'll talk about some of them. We probably won't have time to talk about all of them because it's rather late where we are, trying out some new software. But there's been a lot of exciting things going on, and a lot of distressing things, and a lot of personal anecdotes that we can talk about here. So what's
You
our
just
first
want to
time?
talk about that? I know you just want to talk about that.
I just want to complain about my bad luck. That's it. If you want to see steam trains, do not do it with me. It will be terrible.
You have had the worst luck with trying to get
luck.
steam engines this year, Danny.
Yeah. I feel like 2015 was a real banner year for steam trains, and then for us, and then maybe it's been just getting worse every year. But maybe that's probably not the case, because I saw a big boy in like 2018 or something, and then we've done lots of cool things since then. But this year
we've seen like 2102 multiple times, Danny.
Yeah.
You know.
But I think 2019 wasn't. Oh no, 2102 was like 2021 or something, right?
22.
22.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, but maybe we should talk about like real news and not my fake drama news here.
Fine. All right. Well, all right. You want to let's talk about the one of the big news. All right. Amtrak Acela II finally is running.
Woo! Yeah. So it's multiple years behind schedule. And I know this like I live in Philadelphia, and Alstom built these trains, and they've actually been building them for years at this point. And they started stacking up in front of 30th Street Station in Philadelphia to the point where I think there was like 5 or 6 train sets just sitting there, and Amtrak wasn't accepting them because they were failing in some bits of the specifications that they had written out. But anyway, yeah, they entered service. They do go 160 miles an hour. I have proof of it from, I don't necessarily have the receipts, but I have verbal proof that it happened. And there's been lots of Railfan reviews of it that have been relatively positive. I think they're doing what they are really trying to set out to do with those trains, you know?
Except for the seats.
Well, I guess so. I have a friend who, you know who you are if you're listening to this, who was able to take the train. And he said he did it all the way. Him and his partner did it all the way from Philadelphia to Boston and back. And they took the old Acela one way and the new Acela the other way. And they did prefer the new Acela seats.
Fun.
So the seats are not that bad. I guess the recline situation is pretty bad. However, I will say that I don't know. In most Amtrak situations, if I'm not on a long distance train, I'm not really reclining. Like the seats are perfectly comfortable, at least in most Amtraks as they are. Now, I haven't sat in any of the seats, but I guess it's all to say the controversy with these trains, there's a couple, right? One is the seats. So the seats is a bit of a departure.
That's Amtrak. The biggest thing I've heard. Yeah. And then, the other thing is, every single comment on our things of being, there's the looks, but more of just being like, oh, look, it's 160 miles an hour. That's nothing compared to Europe, like that's like, if you look at any of our posts about like the new Acela or even the old Acela, it's all like just people being like, oh yeah, this is crap. And compared to Europe for some reason, or Japan or China, pick a country. And here's the thing. I think a lot of it is that people don't know the difference between kilometers and miles per hour.
Yeah, because
when I was looking at it, I'm like, all right.
90% of all the high-speed trains out there max out at 186 miles per hour. So we're going 160, which is that's within striking range.
Close. And it's like close. It's and like yes, there are ones that go to like 200 or 220.
That's pretty rare.
But they're rare.
Only a couple lines that let you do that. Yeah. So 186 is the gold standard. Is like that. Like if you hit 186, no one could argue with you that is high speed rail. Now we're not hitting 186 miles per hour, which I think is 186. It's like 300 kilometers an hour. Is that? It's some big round number in kilometers. Our metrically oriented friends can correct us.
186. Yeah, it's 300 kilometers.
Yeah. So 160 must be like 260 kilometers an hour or something like that, which is respectable, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's 260.
And
this technically goes 165. in theory.
Yeah, I don't think
So,
the track is ready for that though, right? Or is it?
yeah, I don't know. Like technically, if it hits 165, I think it goes over 260, and then that gets into some magical zone that apparently, for some people, is actually high speed rail for some reason. Like
Oh,
if you notice, the goalposts just keep getting pushed
yeah.
each time we make a new train. Like it was like, oh yeah, high speed rail is kind of 150. Then it gets, oh, we had 150. It's not anymore. Now it's 160. And now that we have it 160, it's getting pushed to 186. It just, I think people just don't like thinking that the
That
U.S.
America, we can't have nice things.
Exactly.
America
So they're
can't
like,
have
oh
nice
yeah,
trains. Even though you could argue that we really invented the high speed train, like all the fundamental technologies that goes into a high speed train, almost all of that was pioneered in the U.S., specifically by the Pennsylvania Railroad. But that's neither here nor
don't
there.
forget New York Central strapped some jet engines to it.
Well, I don't know if that technology exactly panned out yet, but I'm still waiting for the day where we just strap.
Oh,
some
you
jet
want to do a
engines to trains.
Metroliner? Yeah, guess what? I strapped some jet
I have a
engines to
Bud.
an
I had a
RDC.
Bud rail car sitting around here. I guess I just decoupled the transmission and strapped to. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Oh, that's the most
Glad those
ridiculous
two
thing.
companies merged.
Yeah, exactly. It's a great idea. Yeah,
It's a great idea.
All right,
Hey, we're getting a little off topic here. So,
what do you mean? We're talking about high speed rail.
high speed rail. So the new Acela, I am a little bit torn about because I actually quite like the paint scheme.
I do too.
The paint
I think
scheme
it looks really
nice.
good.
I am not one for paint schemes that shy away from how linear a train is, right? So like the old Acela paint scheme, I don't really like because it de-emphasizes how long the train is, and that's like from an aesthetic standpoint. To me, I think the interesting thing about trains is just how extremely linear they are, right? And so if you just have like blotches of paint on it, it breaks that up in a way that I find offensive, actually, to all my design sensibilities.
Wow.
So I like that this new train has like a big white stripe going along it that emphasizes its length and then has like a very logical, oh, the doors are a different color. I like that. So anyway, I think it looks nice from a paint perspective. The thing that really gets me though, and this gets a lot of people, and it actually goes to the very heart of what the Acela II is that the power car and the coaches are not flat. They're not coplanar with each other. So like the walls on the power car go straight up and down, and then the walls on the coaches slant in, and they're not at all aligned. And when I first saw the first prototype, I was like, oh, this is a prototype. They're working on it, right? No, that's just how it is. So it's like not streamlined at all. It doesn't meet up. Really irks me. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. But that actually is one of the kind of hallmarks of what the system actually is, which is basically it's power cars. The two power cars are directly from the newest TGV that's out there, right?
Yeah.
The Avelia. And then the coaches are my understanding, derivatives of like the Pendolino or something like that.
Yeah, I believe that is that Italian one, right?
The Italian, yeah.
Yeah.
Which all got bought up by Alstom anyway at some point. But anyway, so basically it's two different train systems combined into one to kind of fit our circumstances. Now, I think Amtrak probably originally wanted
just in case you want, I have a photo I put up. If you want to do the Sherry thing, we're trying a new software here. Look at that! Woo!
And you can buy that photo maybe on our Smug Mug or something.
Not
yet, but maybe at some point.
If you really felt like it. But yeah, so there you go. That's what it looks like. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, so I like how linear it is, the paint scheme. And I don't necessarily like how the fade happens with the power car, but the rest of it I kind of like. But if you zoom in, Billy, can you zoom in on the like the transition from the power car to the
1 second, I didn't actually connect to the server that I'm on. This is working on the
that's okay. Second. We don't need. So, anyways, they're
be good soon, maybe.
Yeah, it looked like it zoomed in a little bit, right? No,
it zoomed a little bit, but it hasn't figured out that it exists really.
Oh, okay. Well, that's okay.
Okay, let's see.
So was that going 100? So it looks like Billy took this picture in
there we go. Enhance. 200. Enhance.
Oh, I didn't actually. Oh crap! I didn't actually. There we go. There it is. I didn't actually do it.
What do you mean you didn't do it?
I don't know. I didn't. We're only
You
showing
mean
it
we've been
now.
talking about it
Well, I'm
and you
only,
didn't
yeah,
actually do it?
yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
ah. That's the train, guys.
You're doing your best impersonation of the animatronics at the top of the Expedition Everest ride.
Yeah. So this is what Danny's talking about here when he
Yeah. Oh
doesn't
man,
like.
it bumps out. It bumps out
Now,
significantly
what was the
from the
reason? I've
side.
heard people say that the reason for that is because when it tilts, it technically lines up or something like that.
No, it
And
doesn't
like
line up.
it,
It's just that was the car that they had. Was that one, right? And I guess they're all within the loading gauge, which is fine.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, usually with if you see the slanted edges like that, often that's a hallmark for the tilting trains. And I guess that's because when you have like the loading gauge has a sort of dynamic quality to it, so you need to make sure that in all states of your coach that you don't get into certain bad zones. And so I think having the sides tilted in like that helps with that. Um, but I don't think it ever lines up. It just doesn't line up. It just is very indicative of the fact these are actually two separate. These were conceived as two separate systems, and they're kind of mated together. Now in France, what they've got is they've got like double decker cars that will go between these in kind of more typical TGV fashion.
yeah. I saw that they were double decker. Interesting, which kind of part of me is like, why didn't they make these double decker?
Well, I think because they wanted to tilt. So double decker does not really tilt that well.
That makes sense.
So, so I mean, it's interesting because if you compare this train with the Pendolinos, this is a faster train than the Pendolinos. So the Pendolinos, they're actually in service all over the place, but very famously, like in Britain, they're using the West Coast Main Line, and so these are faster than all of those trains. And so I don't think the Pendolinos quite had the capacity to get up to this speed. And we should really, you know what? I don't think these are. I think I'm wrong. I don't think there are Pendolino cars, because Pendolinos are not articulated, are they?
You're gonna make me look this up, aren't you?
Yeah.
Give me a second. Give me a second.
Yeah. What is the other? It's not Pendolino. It's Anyway, it's some other train system that they just sort of inserted between the other ones.
1 second.
And eventually, it's.
Why is there talking about
the other thing that people complain about are the seats, right? So
no, it is. No, wait. They initially favored the new Pendolino train set are based on the AGV, and the power car is based on the Avelia AGV.
That was like the advanced train, like the more EMU version of the TGV.
Yeah,
which I've actually been on because like the Italos I think are the AGV, and I've been on that. That's a really nice train. If you're ever in Italy, take one of the Italos. That was probably my favorite train ride I've ever done. Was from Rome to Naples and back. Fantastic, beautiful trains. They're red, designed by Pininfarina, who used to design Ferraris. Looks really cool. Well, anyway, so the seats are also controversial. There's kind of two things going. One, unlike all the older Amtrak coaches, they don't flip. So I don't know if you guys didn't know this, but in all the Amfleets and all the Superliner coaches, there's like a little lever that's underneath the seats, and they all flip. Like they don't flip like you would see in like an old train car where like the back of the seat flips. It's like the whole thing flips horizontally. It kind of rotates and pivots in the middle so both seats can face the opposite direction, which is kind of wild that it works. But these seats are fixed. So by that, it means that half of the seats will be facing backwards and half of the seats will be facing forwards.
That's weird.
Which is a bit of a bummer. But I mean, the good thing with the Acela is that you can reserve your seat, unlike in the other Amtrak services, typically. So the reports that I've seen is that the seats are comfortable, but the reclining is not great. So it's basically like just if you've seen any of the Siemens trains, it's very similar to that, where like the butt just kind of scooches out, but then the back stays the same.
Yeah.
So it just reduces your leg room, which maybe not great. But besides that, I've heard good things about the seats. Actually, I think the ride quality, from what I heard at speed, is very nice. That's probably indicative of it being an articulated train, meaning that they share a common bogie between two cars.
Truthfully, that was one of the things I had trouble with the original Acelas. I felt like the ride quality was not great. Like I felt like an Am fleet had better ride quality
Yeah, I
than.
mean, I would kind of agree with you because they were heavy cars. They weren't. They would kind of like rock and roll a little bit, if I recall
Here,
correctly.
let's see. I could show you one of them because I took photos of them the same day. Look at that.
Yeah,
Ye old Acela.
ye olde Acela.
I'm just looking at like the difference. It had the bump out too, the tilty
No,
thing.
they're aligned. They are
There,
aligned.
yeah, the engine
The
has it as
engine
well.
has it
So yeah,
too, so they were able to. They didn't cheap out and like not modify
yeah,
the engine. Whereas for this is not modified, which is fine as a way to save some money. You know, we've been kind of asking for the U.S. to procure more or less off the shelf equipment for a very long time, and this is kind of what you get. So it's fine.
yeah.
Um,
You know, it's fun when you're sitting at Princeton Junction, you see this thing go past, and then you're like, "Hey, guess what? Also, is going past this
yeah,
guy."
from 1967, a Metro liner.
1967, basically with the same speed at the same point.
Yeah, it's wild. But actually, this is a good picture. So
Oh, you
another
wanted
big
the extra,
thing
extra liner.
with the Acela upgrade is there was some significant infrastructure upgrades that happened at roughly the same time. So if you're not familiar with the Northeast Corridor, but in what's sometimes called like the racetrack in New Jersey, which is this big 20-mile long straightaway from uh, like Jamesburg, New Jersey, all the way to Trenton, or it's probably like Hamilton, but it's dead straight for like 20 miles, and it used to have constant tension. Sorry, it used to have fixed catenary system, which basically because it was fixed, it would droop down when the copper would expand in the heat. It would droop down in the middle, and they have since replaced it with a constant tension system, which is the modern system that's used by almost everyone and has been used by basically everyone for the last 50 years. And that makes sure that in all temperature ranges, you have a consistent tension on the wires, which allows for higher and more reliable operation of trains in all sort of temperature environments. So that, among some minor track upgrades, have allowed the trains in this section to go up to 160 miles an hour, which I would confirm that they were able to do. At least on my friend's trip, they made it up to 160 miles an hour in New Jersey and Rhode Island and Massachusetts. So that's significant.
Yeah, with some of the people I was on the platform with when we saw it go by on the first day in Princeton, one guy did some quick math, and I was pretty impressed with it. But I double checked it too. He unlike me who pans the camera usually, he had the camera sitting up on the tripod at the exact same spot, so he could count how long it took, how many frames it took for the train to go past one of the catenary poles.
Yeah.
He counted that, how many frames it was, figured out how long the train was, did math, and we calculated that it was going 160.
Hey, that's some MythBusters shit right there.
It was.
This guy's named Jamie.
And then he was like, yeah, for the one before that, it actually was only going like 150. So which kind of makes sense because that was the one that's kind of like that's going northbound from Princeton, which is kind of like still accelerating out of Princeton. Versus what I hear is that basically when they hit Princeton going southbound, they're usually at full speed, but then they hit the brakes for some kind of thing right afterward because I don't think they've quite upgraded the catenary yet in Hamilton.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So I think the constant tension right now kind of stops like right south of Princeton, so they have to drop their speed a bit, if I remember correctly. At least that's what this guy was saying.
Yeah. I'll have to go to Princeton and see if it.
I was like, it seemed like he knew what he was talking about, so I'll trust him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the new Acela, it's an improvement over the existing in a number of ways. One is it's a little bit faster, right? So that's one improvement. The other is that it has more capacity, right? So each train can fit more people.
Yeah,
in roughly the same amount of space, which is great. So the power cars are shorter, but it has more shorter cars. So each car is significantly shorter than the Acela 1 car, but there's a lot more of them. Second is maintenance. Theoretically, like the old Acelas being very heavy for their design and being heavy for the TGV design and whatever the Canadian coaches they're based on. it made it so they wore out rather quickly. So right now they're in pretty bad shape. A lot of them, multiple sets have been already retired for years at this point because they just need to use them for parts because it's such a unique thing. So either way, like replacing the old equipment, like if they just replaced it in kind with a brand new whatever, that would have been an improvement. But this does a little bit more than that, where it expands capacity, it improves the speed a little bit, and also gives it a sort of common platform with more modern modern trains out there that theoretically we should be able to get parts for this for a long time to come. Hopefully, assuming other people buy these trains. So I think
well, it sounds like France they're basically replacing some of their TGVs with this. So
yeah, which is so hopefully if they go ahead with that, because they originally were trying to get the AGV to be replacing the TGV for a while, but that never happened. So I'll believe it when I see it, but that's all I'll say. This is doing a lot of good things for Amtrak. And in addition, like expanding capacity per train, they will have more train sets than they had before. Not only because multiple Acela train sets were already retired, but because they're actually just got more train sets. So it's going to expand capacity either way, and these should be able to be turned around quite quickly at each terminal as well. So anyway, so there's a lot of good things that are happening with this. Some of the bad things are, the seats are annoying. It took longer than planned to roll out. But, I mean, what else is new? I mean,
yeah. And truthfully, the other big downside is that the infrastructure of the Northeast Corridor is not really built for that much for the high speed that this thing can do. So it can really only do it in certain very small sections right now.
Yep, that's true. Yeah,
and even then, I believe this thing actually could go like 186, but it doesn't have track to do it on. If I'm correct.
That sounds right. Yeah, I think the design can go much faster.
Well, I think that was the same with the irregular Acela too, if I'm correct.
Yeah, they could probably, if you had straight track, it could probably go faster. But there's not very many places to do that in the U.S. at the moment. But I guess this be going on existing right of ways that have been upgraded over the years is not an uncommon thing in the world. Like the ICE trains and the TGV trains. Like most of the ICE network is on existing, heritage right of ways. They do have some high speed rail, but I would say to a lesser extent than France does and or Japan. But again, France, even with the TGV, a lot of those TGV routes do go on to the existing tracks, which is exactly what this is doing.
So, let's see. What other things we got? You want to go move on to the next?
Looks like on the next thing.
So one cool thing is the first Aero cars have been delivered.
The Aero sets.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen that. Supposedly that's over at 30th Street Station.
I was going to say, did you see them yet?
I did not see it. And I feel guilty because some of my Amtrak friends were like, Dan, have you gone over and seen it yet? And I'm like, I actually have not. I'm a bad rail fan.
Danny.
Oh, well.
I want to see when it goes up the corridor. Hey, if any of your Amtrak friends know when it goes up the corridor, it'd be fun to know.
Yeah, I mean the interesting thing with that's going to be the future of the Northeast Corridor in some ways. Like, because it's going to be those trains with slightly different power cars and maybe like this weird hybrid electric thing going on where they've got a diesel engine and a battery and a pantograph or something like that, which sounds pretty interesting if they can get that to work.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Usually, I think the way they looks really good.
Do you have a picture of that, Billy?
I am working on it.
Yeah, so right now the first set of that is for the Amtrak Cascades in the West Coast, but they're going to test it on the Northeast Corridor because, as I said, that's going to be the future of the Northeast Corridor. That's what theoretically is going to be replacing the Bud Amfleet coaches that date from the 70s. And those things have had so many miles on them. It's insane. Built so well, it put the company out of business. Wow.
Wow. Come on, I want to click on you, and I want to show you bigger. But you go to the website, it doesn't actually even show the photo. God.
Yeah, so the set right now, it's like a green set. It's actually quite a handsome livery.
Yeah, it looks really good.
It looks really nice. So hopefully Amtrak will have a nice, handsome livery for the Northeast as well. I think the Acela one looks pretty good. I like this new Acela livery.
Yeah, truthfully, I think a lot of them look pretty good.
Yeah.
Let's see. Come on. Now this one's not loading. La 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 la. Come on.
Well, anyway, I don't really have much of an update beyond that, but it'll be exciting. But it's a Siemens product versus an Alstom product. So the Acela is Alstom. This will be Siemens. It is interesting they went with two different vendors for all of that, because I would have thought that maybe they would have gone all one or all the other. But I think the seating situation will be very similar to those Siemens venture cars that are out all over the rest of the system at this point in the state-supported lines. What's the next story?
I got it. Here, we're gonna bring it up. Yeah, let's see. Stop sharing, and then I gotta share this one. Da da da. Chrome tab. That one. There we go.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, beautiful. That looks pretty, right?
It actually does look really nice.
Yeah. Really, I've always loved the Cascades, like
the
paint scheme.
The thing I'll miss is that, and I'm kind of kicking myself, is the Talgo cafe cars they had from the original sets for the Cascades were amazing. They had a beautiful like mural on the ceiling that I think depicted like the bay or something. It was really cool, and I'm hopefully one of those cafe cars gets preserved, because I honestly like one of the coolest cafe cars I've ever seen. But these will be much more useful. So I think the Talgos they had some problems with the with those sets.
Gotcha.
Rather unique, but
all right.
So what's the next story?
Did you want to talk about the gateway?
What is it? The gateway?
Yeah, it got canceled apparently by the president.
It got canceled, but not canceled, but maybe canceled. I don't know. So Project Gateway, that's the new tunnels to Penn Station. It's under construction right now, and so I've heard some things saying that like, well, actually the funds are like already allocated, so they're already in a bank account somewhere, so we can't really do anything. I have no idea. There'll be some politics and shenanigans going on. There always are in New York. So who knows? But that's a really essential project, because at a certain point, one of those tunnels are going to fail in some capacity. It's going to take it out for a long time, and then everyone's screwed, essentially, in the Northeast Corridor.
Yep.
Because just to get put in perspective, it's basically a 4-track railroad on both sides of Penn Station, funnels down to 2 tracks. So there's really 4-track capacity. It goes down to 2 tracks there. And then if it goes down to 1 track, well, then it's 1 track through the whole Northeast Corridor for a period, which you can do in like off periods, and they have done, but very difficult to make that work for a rush hour situation. Did you take that picture, Billy?
I found a picture on the internet.
Oh, okay.
I was just like trying to find tunnel.
So I don't think you could take that picture anymore, because they built over the. Or maybe this is with the just the lighting, but from that you used to actually be able to have sunlight coming down to the tracks right there, which I don't think is the case anymore.
Yeah, I don't think it's quite even sunlight. So, but yeah, let's see. Mardi Gras service.
Oh yeah, so that's the service going to Mississippi from New Orleans, and that was like a huge problem between, I think it was CSX and Amtrak, where
I believe so, yeah.
Like CSX was like, oh no, we can't. Our line is so busy, we can't possibly put any more trains on this. And then Amtrak put up a live cam for one of their stations. It would be like, look at this busy train. And it's like basically always empty.
Yeah, I was like, clever. Oh wow,
yeah, that was pretty good for Amtrak. But they reopened a bunch of stations down there, pretty big effort, and added a train that links New Orleans and Mobile, Alabama. Is that right? Or Biloxi, Mississippi, something like that? My understanding is basically a chunk of the old Sunset East route they reactivated.
Yeah, Mobile, Alabama. Yeah.
So damn those torpedoes, and let's go to the next story.
All right, Danny's trying to make it through because we started this real late. Yeah. All right, Danny, I'm gonna let you go off because we're gonna talk about SEPTA.
Oh, do you have a picture for that?
I'm working on it. Bringing it.
More like septic.
When did we do SEPTA stuff?
The joke there is that SEPTA doesn't have any bathrooms on their trains, so
that's true.
So the trains become bathrooms. So one of these days, maybe SEPTA will buy a train with a freaking bathroom on it.
Never.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things. SEPTA's got some structural funding problems, evidently, which have been known for a very long time and habitually is a problem in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is a big state, and SEPTA only covers a portion of the state, right?
Mm-hmm.
And gets significant funding from the state. And so the issue is that people that aren't from southeastern Pennsylvania, where SEPTA is, feel like they shouldn't pay for the service that is only in southeastern Pennsylvania. Now, the reality is that there's public transportation all over the place in Pennsylvania that's also funded by everybody, and that southeastern Pennsylvania is the biggest economic factor in the whole state by like a long shot. Like it blows Pittsburgh out of the water, which is also struggling for transit funding. And then I guess just the sad thing of it is that like the whole reason why SEPTA was created, at least the regional rail, was that basically the planners in Philadelphia were like, in the Pennsylvania, southeastern Pennsylvania region, were like, all right, we've got all these cars going on. We're building all these highways. We actually don't have enough money for all the highways we need to build to move these people around. So it was basically the reason why regional rail stayed was that it was cheaper to keep regional rail afloat than it was to put new highways in, right? So basically it was impossible to put the new highways in. They're like, all right, screw it. We're just going to we're going to fund these trains because we literally don't have any place to put these cars. And so basically you could say that's a symptom of like underinvestment in the region. And now not only are we underinvesting this like alternative plan to have the trains, but we're underfunding the trains as well and just running them into the ground essentially. So SEPTA is now heralded as probably the most efficient dollar for dollar transit agency in the US, where basically every dollar that goes into SEPTA runs more trains and funds more buses than basically every single other transit system in the US, which I'm going to credit Alan for kind of discovering that metric, which was amazing. Yeah. And maybe not surprising given like how SEPTA's always had funding issues for a very long time. And so it's just gotten used to just extending every dollar as long as possible. So the chronically underfunded, there's very little like frills to the system. Like both New York, basically every single other big system in the U.S. has had some like vanity project that's happened in the last 20, 30 years. MTA has multiple vanity projects I would consider. Like there's the Fulton Street Transportation Center, extremely expensive. PATH has the World Trade Center Transportation Center. MTA also has...
they were kind of forced to rebuild those, though.
Yeah, I mean, the World Trade Center, yeah. Fulton Street, not so much.
Didn't also it get destroyed?
Not really.
Oh.
I think it's mostly a pissing contest between MTA and PATH and the
okay.
Authority. So, like, do you really need, like, two multi-billion-dollar concourse upgrades right next to each other? By the way, the Fulton Street one looks very cool. Impossible. The wayfinding is absolutely impossible. I've been stuck in there multiple times now, trying to find, like, the F train, I think. Anyway, but so SEPTA is having funding issues where the state is refusing to fund the system, even though it's used by hundreds of thousands of people every day to move across the Philadelphia region, which is the economic core of the region, and basically the whole area is designed for trains. The whole area was built and developed around these train lines, and so if you took these train lines out, it really destroys the whole economic engine of the region. So it's critical. And in addition to this funding crisis, basically the solution to the funding crisis was that SEPTA was going to tap into their capital funds to run the system, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which, just when I heard that was a bad idea. Now, it's almost like cue the timing, because then their 50-year-old rail cars up on the screen as the Silverliner 4s, built in like the Nixon administration, are every now and then bursting into flames.
6 have burst into flames this year.
Yeah, which is kind of not new because the Silverliner 2s and 3s that they replaced also had a habit of doing that, and also
but they were even older.
Yeah, but at the time they were the same age.
That's true.
Maybe
yeah,
even a little bit younger, which is crazy to think that all of because when I was in school in Philadelphia in for college, those were the old trains that were built in the late '60s. And they were like ancient to the fact that some of them still had the old Pennsylvania Railroad lettering on them.
Mm-hmm.
And they were extremely old, the oldest things running in the U.S. at that point, pretty much. And now these Silverliner 4s are the same age as those. And the problem with that is that the Silverliner 3s and 4s made up a very small percentage of the system. These make up the backbone of it. They're the majority. So SEPTA has not had a replacement for them. And they had a replacement, but it was going to be built by the Chinese rail manufacturing company. And they screwed up the contract. the company did, and they terminated the contract. So basically, all the trains that were going to replace these Silverliner 4s never existed, never were going to exist. So they're in a real problem right now, where you've got really aging fleet, and the very capital funds that were supposed to replace the fleet are now being used to operate the system.
So and also, didn't the Department of Transportation just tell them they had to take most of the?
Yeah, so that's a specific thing that happened. Is there was a FRA and probably NTSB investigation into those mishaps with these multiple trains bursting into flames, and they've been having to inspect them, and they're supposed to have a deadline, I think, the end of this week, but they're not going to hit it, so they're going to ask for an extension.
I was going to say, didn't they have to take like 100 train cars, basically the entire fleet off?
It's like a total disaster.
For a bit,
yeah, they're canceling trains left and right. It's a big problem, and it's sad because the system is actually a very good system. It's an extremely good system. I get to work every day on SEPTA, and it gets me where I need to go. It's very convenient. It's very affordable. It's actually fairly quick if you know how to navigate the system. And it's just a shame that the people don't see the value in having good public transportation in one of the greatest cities in the United States and indeed the world. So I think Philadelphia deserves something nice because, we've been through a lot as a city.
Yeah, but it's also Philly's thing. They're like, they're the underdog. They're always going to be,
Go Bears.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I think a smart move for them would be to piggyback on New Jersey Transit's order for the multi-level EMUs and buy a bunch of those. Now, I think the multi-level is maybe not the best fit for SEPTA. Actually, now that I think it, there's a lot of short platforms in SEPTA's system, but there also are a lot of stops that are close together.
I was going to say, they're like, it's practically a subway half the time.
Yeah, so it might be it'd almost be interesting to do like the Japanese approach, where you can have a mixture of single level and multi-level EMUs.
I think what you need is you need the gallery cars.
Gallery cars.
That's the crazy thing. They have when I was in Chicago a couple of months ago, I got on the gallery cars, and it's on the old South what is it, the
Metro Electric service. Yeah,
the Metro Electric service was on the south side.
Yeah.
It used to be an old interurban, so these stops are really close together, but you're on a double-decker train.
Yeah, those things are weird, man. Gallery cars are wild.
Oh man, I'm glad I got the ride. I'm like, that is so crazy. Wow. But to bring it back a little bit, I know Metro's been actually having some similar issues with this, and I think this is not just SEPTA, just Metro thing. I think this is happening for a lot of the transit systems in the U.S. Basically, a lot of them didn't come when they came back from COVID. Most of them still aren't up to their numbers of pre-COVID numbers. So when they were like, "Hey, we need to do all this stuff," now they don't have ticket prices, and nobody wants to raise ticket prices anyway.
Yeah, it becomes what people refer to as the transit death spiral. So you raise the ticket prices, less people can afford or want to take the train or bus or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have less revenue, and then blah blah blah. It's a spiral. You need to cut service, and then you have to jack up the ticket prices more to match the same revenue. You can have a system really deteriorate quite quickly in terms of service and ridership.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, and SEPTA's a huge system. It's got a lot of regional rail lines, which I think it does a good job of kind of thinking about this heavy rail system, like not as commuter trains, not as something that you take into work and out of work every day, but as regional rail linking to communities together, not just for commuters, but for everybody at all times of day.
It's just going to take you about 3 hours to get from Downingtown to Doylestown.
That's true. Yeah, it would take you about 3 hours. Yeah.
And I used to do it. That's why. Like, people did it.
Yeah.
It was poor college students, but
Yeah. That will take about 3 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, at least you could do it.
Exactly. That's the cool thing.
But I used to go from media to Chestnut Hill. That was a common thing I would do. Or Media to West Trenton. I would do that every now and then.
Like, really, I shouldn't talk. New Jersey Transit, I remember taking New Jersey Transit from just like, if you take it just like from New Brunswick to, what was it, like Asbury Park? Like when I was in college, that would take 2 hours, 2.5 hours, because it's like a change of train and stuff like that. So it's like, then you had to change another one at Long Branch. It was all that kind of fun. Let's see. What's next? Windows.
What was that?
Do we want to talk about New Jersey Transit's dirty windows?
I think they're getting fixed, right?
They are getting fixed, finally. Are we
going off track here? I thought we talked about.
No, that is on the thing.
It is? Okay.
I put it on there.
Oh, you slipped it in there? Okay. So this is a pet peeve of Billy, but the multi-levels we talked about, I guess was it some factory, like they screwed up manufacturing all the insulated glazing for those?
I'm not sure if they necessarily screwed it up, or if it was like, I've also heard that it was like, newer, like chemical processes that were required, like newer things that were required, and basically it didn't withstand well to salt air and UV rays, which you'd think somewhere in New Jersey somebody would think, hey, that would be something that
manufactured. This is a Bombardier.
I think so, but who knows? Like, they probably
who made the glass for that? That's wild.
Who knows? But I think they've started replacing them. I actually saw the other day, I was riding into New York City, and I got one of the ones that had the replacement.
You can actually look out the windows.
Wow. I was shocked.
Well, it's just insane because they've got these Aero 3s they're hanging around. It's been around since like the 70s, just like the Silver 4s. None of them have that problem. The Silver 4s has been around for.
How much one have that problem? It's just the multi-levels.
Yeah, it's so weird.
The Aero 5s, which are about the same,
age. Yeah.
Like
they're fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So
but they're replacing them. Hallelujah.
Finally.
And
so,
on that note is that we would have talked about this last time, but the it's not open yet, but the bridge, the portal bridge almost
kind of
open.
goes along with the tunnel.
All the spans
almost there. I passed by it the other day, and it had
cool.
3 spans up.
Looks really cool. It's a very cool looking bridge.
Now I forget, is the plan for that, once they build that bridge, they're going to knock down the old bridge and build a new thing, so it's going to be fully 4 tracks, or is it going to still be 2 tracks through there?
I thought they were putting 3 tracks over that bridge.
Is that what they're doing? Maybe it's possible.
Yeah, and then they would rebuild the old bridge at some point, like knock it down and put a new one in.
Gotcha.
That's what I thought. I might be wrong. It's been like years since I've looked at that project, but I'm excited to see that thing open up.
Yeah,
nice looking bridge. It'll speed up service a bit. There was a famous crash that was there because the bridge didn't lock fully, and the Amfleet. I remember that one. Amfleet was in the water.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
The AM7 was like in the just sticking up out of the mud.
Yep.
Crazy crash.
So
yeah, that's exciting. That when that opens.
Yeah, and I guess I don't know. That's what we want to talk about. I guess the other big thing is
but it's not open yet. That'll be an official thing for the next update, presumably.
Yeah.
So what's the next?
Next thing you want to talk about? One of the elephants in the room: Union Pacific and Norfolk Southern.
Yeah. So the U.S. has never had a truly transcontinental railroad, and for some reason, Canada always did. So both CP and CN always went all the way across. And now that CP bought Kansas City Southern, that's really started to put the onus on the 4 American railroads that they need to compete in a sort of transcontinental way, going all the way across. At least that's what the thought was. And so Union Pacific decided to put a bid and try to buy Norfolk Southern, which from all indications seemed like it's going to happen. So we would have one transcontinental railroad there, and then you would presumably still have BNSF and CSX being west and east of the Mississippi, respectively. So just kind of trying to lay it out, just the facts is that right now there's supposed to be 2 railroads each east and west of the Mississippi, so that presumably you have some competition available for manufacturers and shippers, so that they're not locked into just one railroad. Now the challenge with that is that usually you might only have access to one of the 2 railroads anyway, so they kind of already have a monopoly. And then another counterpoint is that you could argue that it's not a monopoly at all because trucking and planes and all the other modes are competing against railroads directly. So the question is, will this merger really benefit the public at all? Maybe. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I don't really know. Like on one hand, if you're someone east of the Mississippi, you're still going to have two railroads to pick from. It's just one of the railroads is going to be twice as big as the other ones. Is that going to make the competition worse or better? I really have no idea. I think BNSF is pretty not happy about it. So there's some chances that it won't get approved by the Interstate Commerce Commission, or is it the Surface Transportation Board?
It might be a Surface Transportation Board. I forget exactly.
Yeah, I forget. That. It's one of those. So it might not get approved, but it seems like with the current administration that it likely will. Now, so the downside is that probably it's going to be more anti-union and probably not. Weirdly, so great for the union.
I actually just saw this the other day. The unions are actually supporting it
because they all hate Norfolk Southern. Maybe
it's possible, but also I guess they like made some promises that most of the like people in the like engineers union, which makes sense, I guess. Yeah. Like they're going to keep their jobs. While it's mostly, they said that like mostly a bunch of administrative things are going to get cut when it does it, which, you know, I assume they're in a union too. So their union probably is mad, doesn't like that.
Yeah,
but
I guess what's
one thing in the big headline was unions like this. And I was like, really?
What's going to happen to Altoona? I think Altoona's shop is going to get screwed.
I don't think so. Like, truthfully, they're going to need a big shop everywhere. Like, I don't think
Roanoke is not nearly what it used to be, right?
Yeah.
Because they moved their headquarters out of Roanoke, and it was interesting because I think when we were down to chase 611 down there when they had it coming out of Roanoke, it was sort of bittersweet because the people there were really proud of their trains. Mm-hmm. However, at that basically same time, it was announced that a lot of the NS folks were moving out of Roanoke.
Yeah. Like, truthfully, I think Altoona is probably going to be okay. I think the big one is going to be the corporate structure down in Atlanta would probably be
more. Probably Nebraska's going to be
like, I think you're still going to need a big East Coast,
rehab facility
for stuff. So, but who knows? I'm just talking.
Yeah.
But on the bright side,
as a little treat for us foamers,
and maybe to distract us from other things.
Don't mind this lack of competition. Here's this
don't mind that. You're going to get the big boy on the East Coast.
Run it on Horseshoe Curve.
They're going to run it on Horseshoe Curve.
Restore it. Run it on the main line on Horseshoe Curve.
They're going to double head it with 611 and go over Horseshoe Curve.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I just messed up the audio by slamming my desk multiple times.
It sounds fine here. We'll find out if it's all clipping. I don't know.
Oh God. But yeah. So that'll be cool. I actually haven't seen the big boy. Danny has.
I have seen it. So maybe I didn't need to go to Chicago anyway. It's going to come to me. So supposedly it's coming for the 250th, the semi-sesquicentennial, which Philadelphia.
You think it'd make it to Philadelphia?
Philadelphia is the birthplace of freedom. 1776, baby. Woo!
One of the things I like when people posted about this, everybody was like, well, it can't go on the East Coast because the East Coast has too many narrow tracks and stuff like that. And I think that's bull crud. I'm trying to work my mouth for you tonight, Danny.
Well, yeah, it was built in Schenectady.
I know.
So it made it out there. It's clearly capable. And the T1 was able to go to Pennsylvania.
And they have one in Scranton.
Yeah, so
they had to get out here somehow.
If it could get to Vermont, it can surely get to Philadelphia.
Exactly, and the Pennsylvania Railroad had the T1.
Yeah, which
that thing made it over the
probably more particular about the trackage than the big boy.
Exactly, it didn't even articulate.
Yeah.
And if is it longer than the big boy? I can't remember.
The S1 definitely was. The T1 might not have been. I don't know. I don't know.
That's a different podcast. Don't want to do that one.
Yeah,
biggest, fastest. Such things like that. We just need to do research instead of just talking about stuff.
So what? So that'll be interesting to see. I don't know.
I think it'll be cool, but if it happens,
maybe I guess it does.
Considering this is all just off of one little clip of dialogue from an interview with the guy that runs UP, that was I'd like to send the big boy to the East Coast. And like everything seems to be extrapolated from that.
Well, I guess the thing to consider is that Union Pacific is a more steam-friendly system than NS is at the moment, right?
Is it? So like what a lot of people have been saying is that the one thing about UP, they only let their steam engines run. So like one of the issues is with a lot of like the stuff out on the West Coast right now is that basically both UP and Norfolk Southern have been very, hey, you can't run on our railroads.
Yeah.
And I think they've been kind of mixed about moving steam engines too. So other people steam engines, like I think it's been kind of like a case by case basis. But I think that's the way it is always. But like it sounds like,
I can't imagine them not getting 611 involved. I don't know. That seems to be like a no-brainer. Double head 611 and Big Boy on Horseshoe Curve, like woo.
As I said, it would for my foamer dreams. I think it'd be like. Do you understand the amount of foam that would be overflowing?
Honestly, it's like a dream. Like
we would not. No, there would not be enough room at the curve for how many people there would be there.
Yeah,
like they would have to sell tickets to it or something.
It would be amazing. Honestly, that is literally like a dream. If that ever happens, like I think I've had.
I don't think it's even
dreams.
Like I don't know.
I never thought. Okay, let me just. I've said this before. I'll say it again. I never thought I'd see a Big Boy under steam ever. I never thought I'd see 611 under steam in my lifetime again. And now there's a chance that both of them are actually their boiler tickets are still good. They could go, but hypothetically, there's a world out there where it's good. They're going to be going over Horseshoe Curve. You know.
Possibly.
Anyway, all right. What's the next story?
Or they'll send it to Atlanta.
I hope not.
Which is fine for people. I'm sure there are people in Atlanta that are very excited about
You got to come to Philadelphia.
There you go. That's Danny's pitch. He's gonna personally come out there and
this is where it happened.
Yeah,
this is where it happened.
It's true. Right? It's true.
And of course, we got rid of America's ocean liner. Maybe we can get anyway.
So you're gonna scrap a Big Boy as well, is what you're saying?
Scrap a Big Boy. Sawn in half, scrap yard is gonna get it or whatever.
Anyway. If you saw a Big Boy in half, do you just get two smaller locomotives? Two little boys. It's late.
Right, let's go to the next story.
We are making bad jokes.
What's the next story?
I don't even know. I think that was kind of our last big one.
I had the me complaining about stuff story, right?
Yeah. Did you want to talk about that? Do you want to talk about 611? We're kind of segueing into 611. It was down in Goshen. It ran again. We didn't get to see it.
Yeah, so
which can kind of segue into Danny's.
This was supposed to be, I think, in the prior podcast. You probably I was like, oh man, it's gonna be a great year for us. We had lots of big plans, and we did have lots of big plans. I think we had planned our first very not serious. There's nothing serious about this, but our first dedicated training trips were we were taking planes and doing logistics to go see a specific train. We had multiple of those lined up for this year. So one is Billy goes out to a conference in Las Vegas every year, and we wanted to see the Nevada Northern. And I bought tickets to go out there. We had a hotel lined up. I think we even were about to rent a car, right? Or I did rent. Did we?
Yeah, I had a car rented.
A car rented. Yeah. And then Billy, as you do, you reach out to the things like, oh, is the thing I'm actually coming here for actually going to exist and happen? And turns out it wasn't. So the steam engines were unsurprisingly down for the summer in the middle of the desert. Which, what are you gonna do?
But they're working on them. And they have a great facility there, and I still really want to go out and see those.
Yeah, so it's definitely still on our list, but I didn't get to see it. I'm kind of bummed. It would have also been my first time in Las Vegas, but yeah, we canceled the trip. Billy was still out there, but
you can come next year. I think the trade show is going to be during the Star Trek convention.
Oh, is it still the middle of the summer when they're probably not?
Yeah, it's still the middle of the summer.
Yeah. So that was the first trip that started going sideways. Then the second one is that I had booked myself, and this would have been, again, another big trip. We're going all up to Maine to see the Wiscasset, Waterville, and Farmington Railroad, which is a very cool 2-foot narrow gauge Maine steam line up in Maine, up in like the mid coast of Maine. Really cool thing. I'd been up there the year before. I think we've talked about it. It's a really unique operation. I was very excited to go to a photo charter, which is where a bunch of rail fans will rent a train just for the explicit purposes of photography, for photo and video, right? So I had been up there before, so I had ridden behind it, but the line is very wooded and has not a whole lot of access for large stretches of the line. So you can't really chase it, which made it an ideal candidate to really invest in getting a photo charter, which is why we did it. So we were both going to go up there. I planned a whole vacation. It was my 5-year anniversary with my wife. We were going to go up to Maine. We did lots of fun things in Maine. I drove my little sports car up there, and there was a drought going on. And unfortunately, they were not able to run the train down the line because of the drought. So they were only able to steam up the train, which is more than I thought they were going to do. But they were able to steam it up in the yard, but they did not bring it down the line. And this all happened after I was already up there. So Billy didn't leave yet when the word got out that they weren't going to do that. So he canceled his, but I was already up there. So I was like, okay, well, I just had to make the best of it. And so I readjusted, and I took a schooner instead of seeing a train, which is also very cool.
Wait, you took a schooner?
Yeah, I took 2 schooner rides up there.
What? You did not tell me this. That's awesome.
It was lovely. Absolutely.
Guys, no longer Rail Brothers, Ship Brothers.
Ship Brothers.
Keel Brothers. I don't know what you want to call it.
Brothers, yeah. I like Keel Brothers. That's actually pretty good. And so I guess anyway, so that was a bummer that I didn't get to see train because, I did see it, but it was not going down the line, which was the thing I kind of explicitly wanted to go there for. So that was a bummer, but I was able to adjust, and we still had a great time up there. But yes, my luck was not good. And then I had another trip planned, which is I'm doing some work in Asheville, North Carolina. And so I was like, I'm going to go down to North Carolina. And we had another trip planned. We were going to see 611. But that
was my fault.
Yeah.
I was just like,
that was
we were
just
going
a
to
scheduling thing
last weekend with Halloween. But that's also like, it's the weekend before Halloween. I've got a young kid. I should probably be hanging around for it. So, she comes first,
Yeah, so I had a trip planned to go to... anyway, I have a job going on professionally in Asheville, North Carolina. Go tourists. Go Asheville tourists. And which is quite close, or within striking distance to the Great Smoky Mountain Railroad, which is a great tourist line out in the Great Smoky Mountains southwest of Asheville, maybe like an hour away. And so I decided to make a long weekend of it, bring my wife down there, rent a fun car. And in their schedule, they had said that in this time of year, it's peak, fall foliage season, but they had scheduled for their steam engine 1702 to go out twice a day during peak season. And so I specifically scheduled it to be during this area where they're supposed to run it twice a day. And it wasn't the first weekend it came out. It was like the second weekend. And so I booked it. And then by the time it's like a week out, I checked the schedule and they no longer had the steam engine out. And it was kind of too late to kind of redo everything. But anyway, so I made this whole trip. I was staying in Bryson City specifically to see the train. And the steam engine didn't run, which was like a real bummer. Yeah, it was just really, really a bummer. And it's for each one of these occasions, at least particularly the Maine and the North Carolina trip, there were like specific things going on that I could have gone to. So in Maine, at the same time, there was actually like a last minute photo charter for the Woodstown Central and Woodstown Central number 9. And then the same weekend in North Carolina, there was 611 on the Buckingham branch. Now, what I decided to do is I went to Dollywood, which is relatively close within driving distance. And I was able to see, I was like, well, I came down here to see a steam train. What's the closest steam train I could see? Well, I was like, okay, Dollywood. And the Dollywood train runs every hour, and they have 2 steam engines. So if one's broken, they're going to take the other one out. And I saw that steam train. And it was a really fun time. And Dollywood, if you're interested in roller coasters, which is also a train, look at our first podcast episode. That was a great time. Yeah, so I guess the moral of the story is, 1, don't plan a steam train adventure with me. Probably won't work out. 2 is make sure you always have like a backup plan. So these things, life is full of surprises and changes. So make sure you always have a backup plan, and that you're flexible enough to adjust. So each one of these trips, even though I wasn't able to see the steamy train I was looking for, I still had a great time on it and did lots of fun things with my wife and had great memories. And still was, even in some cases, able to see a steam train, just maybe wasn't the steam train I wanted to see. Yeah, so that's Woodtown Central number 9 that Billy was able to go to because he did not leave for Maine yet.
Yeah.
So hopefully this coming year might be better luck for me. But yeah, it's a bit of a bummer.
Also, like, look at these.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Like, they were really cool.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I was like, oh man, those diesels are pretty neat.
Yeah, they are.
Danny's like, Danny, you can go see them.
Yeah, I can
run.
Go see them.
They run 45 minutes from your house, Danny. Go see them.
Yeah, I should probably do that. Anyway, is there what's the next story? Is there like a more positive one? I'm getting tired.
I think that's what we're gonna end it on. Unless you got your cards.
No, I don't have them out.
Well, I got cards. Here, put me up on the big screen.
Put them on the big screen.
Put them on the big screen. I got cards.
Pick a card, any card.
Any card. I got the cards. The what is it? Titans of Steel cards from Walthers.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that.
You know where you are? Let's go get them. I want to talk to them. See what you got. Come on.
I actually don't know where they are.
Fine.
So I think I sort of gave them to my wife because she's interested in cards now.
Yeah. Look at that. I got like a Leviathan.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Yeah. I got Union Pacific E8. Is that Union Pacific? Yeah, Union Pacific E8.
You know, you can never tell if it's like the Union Pacific or the Milwaukee Road.
You mean
because Milwaukee Road started painting all their stuff in Union Pacific colors.
Milwaukee Road?
Yeah, you didn't know.
Sure, you don't mean Great Northern or?
No, it's Milwaukee. It's Milwaukee.
Milwaukee's orange.
Yeah, but later on they painted it Union
really?
Pacific. Yeah.
Ooh, this is the one I was like, Danny, I bet I can trade you this for something.
I probably could have taken that picture.
Yeah. But, and then this guy, Burlington Zephyr. There you go.
Is it the Pioneer Zephyr or the Burlington Zephyr?
It is the Pioneer Zephyr.
Pioneer Zephyr. So is that the one that's in the...
Yeah, that's the one that's in the Science Museum, yeah.
Cool, yeah.
Yeah, but...
Made in Philadelphia.
Exactly. Now this was the fun one for me because I thought this is funny. So this is made by Walthers.
So they still Walthers in there, like the guy.
Yeah. That's Mr. Walthers. I made it. I'm like, that's a good idea. But then they have like Jay Gould. You know, they have like all these kind of things. So it's not just the engines.
Now, Jay Gould, was he the Union Pacific guy?
Yeah, he is. So they have all the information on the back of him. He was Union Pacific, Missouri Pacific, Denver, Rio Grande, and Erie. Were his things. Wow. Well, apparently he also owns a lot of the L's in New York City.
Oh.
Learning stuff. Like as I said, they have a bunch of information on the back of these things, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, I think I need to buy one for Mia.
I think you do. I think I might buy more of these. Like here, you got. I forget you went to this New Orleans train station.
Oh yeah, I have been there. The rats there are huge. Huge rats in that station.
Huge rats. Let me see if that's on the back of the card.
In the convenience store inside the station, a rat literally jumped out at my wife. She's like in there, like trying to buy a Coke. And it's like
they don't actually say anything about rats there. They say features mid-century modern architecture with large murals and waiting areas.
Fact of New Orleans Union Passenger Station.
A lot of rats. A lot of rats. There.
Be careful.
Coil car.
That's cool.
But yeah, so they got, and then they have these ones that are like you can kind of like put them together in some way. Like they each have a different thing. It looks like you're kind of building
like a train.
C&O train.
Oh, cool.
But it's going to come out with there's 9 of these ones apparently, and they all make up one big photo.
Oh, cool.
So some kind of Chesapeake and Ohio thing.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I think it'd been fun.
I'm jealous I didn't come up with it first.
Yeah.
What is that?
That is a covered bridge. Fisher covered railroad bridge.
I feel like covered railroad bridges you don't see them too often.
Exactly. That's what I was like. That's pretty neat.
Cool. Of course, it'd be in Vermont.
Built by the Boston and Maine.
Yeah. Miles would be made of cheese.
Today is only one of only two surviving covered railroad bridges in Vermont. Wow. Yeah, that is it. They're pretty neat. And
I think next episode I'll open up mine. Maybe my wife will be here too, and she can open them up too because she's very excited about them. And I think it'll be fun to trade them around, see what we get. Hopefully, I get I don't know.
Danny was angry when I opened up 2 of them.
yeah. Well, because I told her because my wife was really interested in them. And I was like, oh yeah, you can open it up, blah 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 blah. And then I was like, oh yeah, you can open up with us. And then I see the TikTok of Billy opening up all oh god damn it.
I got such a nasty phone call.
Billy, I thought we talked about this.
And I'm like, I don't remember that at all.
It harkens back to my bad memories of Billy was collecting magic cards and I was just a bumbling toddler, in a little, picking my nose. And so Billy would give me all of his crappy cards. So I would just have this terrible deck. And every time we played, I just got annihilated immediately.
Yeah.
And I probably also didn't understand the rules because I was probably 5 or something. But let me tell you, when we finally started collecting Yu-Gi-Oh cards,
Danny made sure to keep him by himself.
I had the better deck.
Did you?
I was consistently beating you in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Anyway. Well, with that, go get yourself some cards. I think they're pretty cool. I think it's a good idea.
I don't think there's any Blue Eyes White Dragons in here. But
I think for me it's
or Charizards, but there is the Pioneer Zephyr, which is pretty neat.
I'm in a bit of a financial situation now where
you are.
I probably can't be going out there spending, mucho dollars on model railroads anymore, but I can spend $10-20 on some cards. That's probably fine.
There you go.
So a nice accessible way to
I think there's a thing you can just buy all of them, if I remember correctly.
Oh, really?
Or most of them except for the rare ones. It's a card pack thing. It's 50 cool. cards or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Kind of I think it's the starter packs they had in the other ones. But and this is just phase 1, it said. So I assume there's gonna be more. So I don't know.
Yeah. Cool idea.
I think it'll be fun. It's fun.
All right. And with that, you should like and subscribe to all of our stuff.
Yeah, or you can find us on Instagram. Do the thing, Danny. Do the thing.
I think if I do the thing, you won't be able to hear us anymore.
Oh, fine. Then don't do the thing.
I won't do the thing.
Instagram,
I'll do the thing.
Facebook.
Well, actually, hang on. Maybe I can do the thing.
You're gonna break this, Danny.
Am I gonna break it? Hang on. Is it? Maybe I can do. Can I do the thing?
More? Nobody knows. Am I still talking?
Yeah, you're still talking. You're good. Yeah.
Was I talking this whole time?
Were you talking this whole time?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, no, you're talking this whole time. You're good. Keep talking. Keep talking.
All right, so you can find us on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and
wait for it.
Oh man, this didn't turn out right at time.
Instagram. Look at that.
Look at that.
Beautiful Instagram.
Look at that. That was totally worth it, our weird thing.
Whatever
happens. Half of our people listen on an audio way anyway, so they're not even worried about this. Yeah. We're at Railbrothers on most places. Some places we're not that because we're at the true Railbrothers. Railbrothers before us on Facebook, apparently. But, yeah. Follow us. Yeah. And we'll see you out on the line. Yeah. I can't say that seriously, Dan.